Hello, my friends. This is Paul. Today we're reviewing The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the Great Cities duology that she put out. This was from 2022, November, and it is from Orbit Books. In this story, the great cities of the world are represented by avatars. These avatars are regular people that gain powers based off of the sections of the cities that they represent. In this story, we follow the avatars of the boroughs in New York City. There is Staten Island, Jersey City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens. And there is also one primary that represents the entirety of New York. Each one of these avatars, these people have abilities that they can use to fight evil in their sections of the city. They can use the feelings and the emotions and the landscape of their their borough to cast magic that will stop horrible people from doing horrible things. The conflict here is that there is an entity that is trying to pretty much devour New York City and pull it into their own world. And that entity has taken over Staten Island, as Staten Island's avatar is away from all of the other avatars. She is not a part of them at all. So, what I really liked about this story is the characters. The characters are amazing. Uh, Brooklyn is, this woman who is trying to run for political office for mayor of New York, and she is against this demagogue type of person that wants to make New York great again. And then there is the Bronx, who is an older woman who owns an art dealership or art institute. There is Queens, who is a younger woman from the Middle East who is working there on a visa. Um, there's Jersey City, uh, an individual who is a lot of fun and wisecracking. There is Manhattan, someone who is having a hard time deciding if he wants to stay as Manhattan, as the avatar for Manhattan, or if he wants to go with his family and go to a different city. But he is very troubled. The woman from Staten Island, she wants Staten Island to be the same and not to change, but she has to put up with this evil entity taking over. And then there is the primary, who is this wisecracking, very outspoken young man. And they all just have a great personality and they interact with each other amazingly well. For example, in Manhattan, in the primary, have like this love affair with each other, but they don't want to give in to their impulses. And everyone is just kind of going through their own thing as well while dealing with this entity trying to destroy New York. The writing is superb in this book. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed the themes in this. However, I wasn't really sold on the conflict, and that was my issue with the first book as well. The conflict with this entity, this Lovecraftian like entity from another dimension trying to take over the great cities of the world, I just really didn't buy into it. It wasn't that interesting to me. I never really felt like anyone was really in danger at all. One of the highlighted scenes in the book, though, was when they had a summit when all the other great cities of the world got together to discuss this issue, and that was a fantastic scene. And we got to learn a lot more about the world building and how everything works out in this universe. I am disappointed that this turned into a duology. Initially, it ended up being a trilogy, but Jemisin said that she really couldn't put forth her focus on this too much more because of the type of topics that it covered, and it was so closely related to the real world. And she kind of had to get away from writing about something that was so similar to our world and the issues that we're having in our own world. And I totally understand that and respect that. I just wish that it was a little bit more fleshed out, and it felt like it was rushed at the end. Like half of this book, it felt like the second book in a trilogy, but then she rushed through the second half to try to wrap up this duology. And it struggled because of that, in my opinion. The conflict is just not that fun. It was not that interesting. And the resolution was a little vague and very confusing. And so I was hoping for a little bit more clarity on that. Like there is a, a blinding white light and a thing called and like this tree and multiverses. It was very confusing. I probably need a flow chart to understand it, to be honest. But I really did enjoy this book. I would recommend it to everyone, especially if you've read the first book. This was fantastic. And if you have time, go to your local library and pick it up. It is The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. I'll see you next time.